I kept meeting my birth mom, but she never knew it was me, and so I did something I could never undo. She worked the night shift at the 7-Eleven by my old apartment. That's how it started. I was 20, living off microwave mac and cheese and minimum wage when I first walked in and saw her behind the counter. Her name tag said Elena. She had my same nose, my same anxious smile. I froze. I couldn't even buy the Slurpee I was holding, just mumbled something about forgetting my wallet and walked straight out. I didn't sleep that night. I just laid there staring at the ceiling thinking, there's no way. It can't be her. But the next night, I went back. Bought a bag of chips I didn't want just so I could hear her voice. Her, have a good night, almost made me cry. The next night, I came back again and again. See, I was adopted at birth. No drama. My parents were wonderful. They told me when I was 7 and even gave me a letter from my birth mom. Just one page, tear-stained. It said she loved me, but couldn't keep me. That she was only 16 and trying to survive. I used to read that letter every birthday. I used to picture her living this big, beautiful life somewhere, maybe working as a vet or an artist or something. But here she was, working the graveyard shift at a 7-Eleven 2 blocks from my rundown apartment. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a plan. I just kept going back. I started buying gum, hot dogs, soda, anything to have a reason to talk to her. We made small talk. She told me she liked horror movies and hated cilantro. She once called me sweetheart, and I almost lost it. I wanted to tell her so many times, but the words never came out. And I know how that sounds, like I was being a coward. But there's something about seeing someone you imagined your whole life and realizing their life was nothing like what you thought that messes with your head. Weeks turned into months. I started changing my schedule just so I could bump into her. And then one night, something unexpected happened. She wasn't behind the counter. I walked in and it was some dude with a ponytail chewing gum way too loud. I asked if Elena was working and he just shrugged. She quit, said something about moving. Dunno, just like that, she was gone. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. I couldn't explain it. She didn't even know who I was, but it felt like I lost her again. So I did something stupid. I still had the letter she wrote me, and something in me snapped. I needed to let her know I found her, that I saw her, that I wasn't angry. I thought it might bring closure. So I dug around online, found a change of address form she'd filed at the store, and mailed the letter back to her. But this time I added my own. I told her who I was. I told her how many nights I came into that store just to talk. I told her how proud I was of her for surviving everything, and how I didn't blame her for giving me up. Then I hit send and waited. 2 weeks passed, nothing, then a month, then one random Tuesday morning my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I hesitated, then picked up. The voice on the other end said, "Is this Noah?" I almost dropped my phone. It was her, Elena, my mom. She was crying. She told me she'd read my letter 12 times before even believing it. She said she'd felt this connection every time we spoke at the store, but she thought it was just coincidence. She said she never stopped thinking about me, not once. We talked for over 2 hours that first call. She told me she'd moved to live with her sister upstate because the city was eating her alive. She apologized for leaving without saying goodbye, even though she hadn't known who I was. And then she said something that wrecked me. "I almost kept you, you know. I held you for an hour before they took you. You had the tiniest hands. I've been looking for those hands ever since." We met up a few weeks later. Neutral place. A diner off I-95. I got there early. Kept wiping my hands on my jeans. And when she walked in, we just stared at each other for a full minute. She said, "Hey," and I said, "Hi, Mom." We both started crying. We didn't hug right away. We just sat, ordered pie, talked like we'd done it 1,000 times before. But there was one question I had to ask. I waited till the end. I said, "Why'd you move to my neighborhood?" She looked confused at first, then smiled. "I didn't," she said. "I just picked the cheapest place I could find." Then she paused and said, "Maybe the universe picked it for me." She's coming to Thanksgiving this year. My adoptive parents know, and they're supportive. It's complicated, sure, but it's also healing in a way I never thought possible. And if there's one thing I know now, it's this. Some people lose each other forever, and some just keep meeting until they finally recognize what's been in front of them the whole time.